meteorologist Chad Raeflisberger.
Right now on Local 5 News at 4, heavy rain causes street flooding and road closures in areas like North Road in Green Bay. And good afternoon, everybody. Thanks for joining us for Local 5 News at 4 today. I'm Chris Schuler. As we just saw in that video, water spilling in the streets throughout our area due to heavy rains. Some areas are even closing parts of the road because of flooding. Meteorologist Chad Raeflisberger in the Weather Center now to tell us more about conditions. Chad.
Hey, good afternoon, Chris. Yeah, that rain really came down heavy right around the noon hour here across much of northeastern Wisconsin. Now, we still continue with a flood advisory for areas from southern Marinette County and to the south, including the Lake Michigan shoreline. That runs until 5 o'clock due to some of those flooded roads as well as some of those streams beginning to rise a little bit as well as that runoff makes its way into the waterways. Now, the heaviest of the rain has come to an end, still lingering, hanging on to a few rain showers across far northern Door County areas from Marinette and to the north. Also a few rain showers continuing from about Ashwaubenon down towards Appleton, Oshkosh, and areas around Fond du Lac as well. But again, this rain is much lighter compared to what we had earlier. So still a couple showers making their way northward, but the trend will be for this rain to come to an end here late this afternoon and into the evening. And some of these rainfall reports are quite impressive. 4 inches in Stevens Point, nearly 4 inches here in Ashwaubenon, 2.79 in Iola, and still a pretty healthy 1.6 in Kiel. There is some more rain in the forecast by next week. Details on that coming up in just a few minutes, Chris.
All right, we thank you, Chad. And record high water levels out on the Bay of Green Bay may bring some changes to a proposed beach project at Bay Beach. The $7 million project approved by the Green Bay City Council 2 years ago will include a boardwalk, a pier, and of course a beach. But some are worried about water levels being too high, and the project about $900,000 short of its budget, a fact that has the Green Bay Parks Director proposing to delay construction of a proposed pier.
The pier would be on hold temporarily for a few years while we go through that process and secure additional revenue dollars through our Bay Beach account.
Parks Committee asked for the cost of each component of this project so they can help decide what to include and what to possibly remove. A report is expected in a few weeks. To news out of the Fox Cities now, where the City of Appleton Parks and Recreation Department announced today that they will not be opening municipal pools this summer. Local 5's Paul Evenson brings us some more details on their decision.
In a joint statement with the Department of Health Services, Appleton's Parks and Recreation Department announced that all municipal pools will remain closed this summer, and all youth sporting events and programming will be canceled. The two departments cited safety concerns for the public and staff, as well as social gathering limitations, as factors in making their decisions. The closures affect programs like aquatic lessons, dance academies, youth sports leagues, and camps. The department states that they will be in touch with families who may have already paid for summer programming regarding possible refunds or credits. Sports such as adult softball will continue as planned, but will include new measures to limit the number of participants and spectators. The Parks and Recreation Department had been posting updates on their Facebook page as to when a decision would be made, and say recent COVID-19 testing results from their public testing sites show the virus is still present in Appleton, causing them to make the difficult decision.
Hopefully in the end, everybody realizes that it is very important that we keep our citizens and our staff safe, and that's our #1 priority, and our youth are right at the top of that.
City officials say they know the decision will be, quote, disappointing news for many families, but note they will continue to provide new virtual youth programming at a future date. In the Fox Cities newsroom, Paul Evenson, Local 5 News.
And as of now, the city says parks, municipal sports courts, and trails will remain open as a resource for families looking to get outdoors. Ashwaubenon Park Lake in Ashwaubenon will not be opening for the season this year. Staff says the lack of information on how the coronavirus reacts in a body of water that is not chlorinated was the reason for their decision. Another untreated lake out of County's Plowman Park also made the decision to close for the season. To the latest coronavirus news now in Brown County as health officials report 3 more deaths, bringing the total to 36 in the county. Health officials announced 15 additional cases, bringing up Brown County's total cases to 2,281. Now, Oneida Nation is reporting 1 additional case, bringing its total up to 40. 26 Brown County residents are hospitalized. 792 are out of isolation. Dr. Ashok Rai of Purveya Health says the positive percentage ratio of cases is important to keep track of the trend in these cases.
You want that number to at least be below 10%. The World Health Organization would say that, to know that you're testing enough people. Because if you're only testing people that you know are positive, obviously the number's going to be really high. It doesn't really give you a prevalence number. So you want to make sure that you have a really broad testing swath, which we were able to do here in Brown County.
If we're going to be
Brown County health officials also announced today that Bellin is now providing antibody testing. Wisconsin is seeing over 500 new positive cases of coronavirus in the state today, with the total count now nearing 17,000 cases. Now, the positive percentage of cases did decrease to 4.8%. Here in northeast Wisconsin, Manitowoc County has 36 cases. Marinette County has 33. Outagamie County, 204. Winnebago County has 205 total cases. Now, the Wisconsin State Fair down in West Allis has been canceled because of coronavirus. The board of directors unanimously voted on Tuesday to cancel the event. The board and staff says they've been monitoring the coronavirus data from the local level, statewide, and saw that mass gatherings simply weren't happening. Tickets purchased can be used for next year's fair, or you could ask for a refund. To some positively Wisconsin news now. Many college graduation ceremonies are taking place a little bit differently this year, mainly virtually. Local 5's Aaron Taylor was watching one of those virtual graduations today, celebrating the Medical College of Wisconsin Green Bay students.
I'm Aaron Taylor with Local 5 News in Green Bay. Medical College of Wisconsin Green Bay students celebrated their graduation today, virtually. The online ceremony wrapped up an unprecedented final semester for the students, who will now enter the workforce as residents. Dr. Ashok Rai of Purveya Health told Local 5 today that the circumstances for these students may be different from years past, but this pandemic has shown the importance of the healthcare field. The ceremony was streamed live over YouTube and was a lot like any other graduation ceremony, with speeches and the graduates taking their physician's pledge.
In other local news now, a 17-year-old girl has been charged in a crash on the Main Street Bridge that happened Monday morning. Ain Vaya Nunez is charged with injury by intoxicated use of a vehicle and 2 counts of operation while intoxicated causing injury. She's scheduled to be in court on June 2nd. Now, according to the criminal complaint, the 17-year-old was driving a vehicle that crashed into a guardrail around 5:30 in the morning. A passenger was thrown into the Fox River and was luckily rescued by a fishing boat and taken to the hospital. 3 other passengers in the vehicle received injuries, 1 of them serious. State of Wisconsin is asking the Court of Appeals to deny Stephen Avery a new trial. A release says the state asked the appeals court to uphold the decision denying a new trial to Avery as he appeals his conviction for the 2005 murder of Teresa Halbach. Now, in November of 2019, the appeals court granted the state more time to respond to Avery's request for a new trial. The full brief can be found on our website at wearegreenbay.com. Turning now to a Local 5 Consumer Watch report. Businesses are reopening and some employees are returning back to work, but others are being laid off, and many are finding it hard to collect unemployment benefits.
It has been a nightmare.
That's how Mike Hardy describes trying to get unemployment benefits in California. He applied in March and just received approval a couple of weeks ago.
It was like angels in my ears. It was a sigh of relief.
His struggle is not uncommon, with states across the country overwhelmed with an unprecedented number of claims. Last week, 2.1 million Americans filed for unemployment. Right now, some 21 million people are collecting benefits.
I applied on March 16th, like right after we closed.
Sarah May lost her job in March when the Michigan bar she worked at was forced to shut down. She made $4 an hour plus tips. But when she applied for unemployment,
it was immediately kicked back that it was denied.
In most of the country, tipped employees earn less than minimum wage. In 35 states, it's under $5 an hour. Michigan requires workers to make $3,744 a quarter to receive benefits.
I made $171.25, too little in that quarter.
After Congress passed a coronavirus relief package, May was able to reapply, but it was a complicated process that took weeks of phone calls. She finally started collecting benefits earlier this month.
Anyone less stubborn than me probably, I've actually helped people walk through their unemployment with them.
May says she'll continue helping to make sure others like her get benefits. Michael George, CBS News, New York.
An historic trip into space has been put on hold. Coming up, how astronauts are preparing for the launch of the SpaceX rocket to the International Space Station.
And the heavy rain is now coming to an end, and the cooler, drier air is starting to move in. More on that coming up in the Storm Team 5 forecast.
All right, 4:11 in the afternoon. Time now for a Local 5 live traffic report courtesy of the DOT's Traffic Camera Network. 41 and 114, wet roads. Drive safely. We're back in a bit.
You're watching Local 5 News with Chris Schuler.